hey, can you learn an opera in 2 weeks? You're like, yeah, okay, I can do that. And you're just like, oh God.
Hi, I'm David Pepper, co-founder and mentor with InReach.
Hi, I'm Taryn. I'm a mezzo-soprano from Vancouver.
Hey everyone, my name is Jonelle.
Hi everyone, my name is Luka.
And I'm doing the 2-week Aria challenge.
Over these next couple weeks, I'm going to be tackling Olga's Aria from Tchaikovsky's Eugene and Onegin.
And Dreams I've Built Myself from Peter Grimes by Benjamin Britten.
Going to be learning my very first Verdi aria, Come in quest'ora bruna, from his opera Simon Boccanegra.
Onegin's Act 1 aria, and we're going to take you day to day with little check-ins on our progress, and at the end we're going to sing a little bit of the aria for you. We'll see how it goes.
I've been waiting a long time to try and learn this aria. Both the music is incredible and the character is very interesting.
This is one of my favorite operas, and I am such a Russian literature nerd.
I was a part of a production of Eugene Onegin a few years ago. Didn't sing Onegin, and now I get to learn this aria finally.
What I think will be the challenges, honestly, like that legatissimo. Yeah, and also it's my first time singing any Verdi repertoire, so it'll be, learning new styles.
I'm also a little bit scared about this piece because it's typically sung by a lot of a lower, richer voice. I usually sing higher mezzo rep, so I'm interested to see where it goes, whether it's going to be an appropriate aria for me to sing.
Some of the musical challenges I think will be the rhythms for sure. Britten is known for having kind of more complicated rhythms. I also believe some of the extended vocal techniques I'm gonna need will be a bit of a challenge. They have a lot of floating high notes. They sing softer in the high range, which can be quite difficult for some people, myself included.
Yeah, I'm excited to become Amelia, who is the name of the character. Hey.
I look forward to sharing my journey with this aria with you. I'm a little nervous, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm glad to be able to document it and hopefully see some kind of progress.
So before you can learn the aria, you need to get the music. You can either get the aria from the opera score itself or from what they call an aria anthology. It has the aria that I need in there. I would love to buy the real score, but until they hire me for it, it's a little out of my price point right now.
So one of the first things I usually like to do when I'm learning a new piece is listen to a couple different people sing it and follow along with my music and get an idea of how it goes. So
I want to hear the aria sung by some of my favorite opera singers. So here we are on YouTube. Okay, who we got? Oh, Franny. Franny! Oh. Yeah, and I felt that I was able to learn so much about the aria, especially in the phrasing with the punctuation and where to breathe or where she breathed, and see if that's something I want to try out.
I found this Ukrainian production that seems really good, so I'm going to start with this.
Luckily, with the case of Onegin, it's a very popular baritone aria, so luckily a lot of the music I have in my head already.
And the goal is never to sound like Franny. I mean, that is a low-key goal. It's to sound like myself.
So the first step in my process is what I call my table work. Table work refers to the work you do on your music that doesn't involve plunking the notes or singing or anything like that. So what I did here was kind of pencil in the beats. This kind of shows me how it all lines up with the piano part.
As you can see, I have a clean copy of the aria here, and over the next 2 weeks, in a matter of speaking, it will be destroyed. Here's my score now with all of my notes that I usually take on an aria.
We're gonna do some extensive research. The exciting part of opera and the downfall sometimes is that the plots can be a little convoluted, and within the first act we have a long lost daughter, a potential kidnapping, and a marriage that could be disputed. So that's a lot to retain. But this aria is in Italian, and Italian is not my native tongue.
So today I've been working on translating my aria. It's in Russian, so first of all, I don't speak the language, so I need to understand what I'm saying at all times, and I use a poetic translation combined with Google Translate to make a word-for-word translation that I write into my music.
So right now I just want to give a big shout out to the OG to the opera community, Nico Castell, RIP. He blessed opera with these books on books of full translations of operas. It has the text of the opera with the translation and what we call the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. And it tells you how to say or how to pronounce these words and potentially sound like an Italian person.
Russian is interesting because it doesn't have the same alphabet as English. I have studied a little bit of Russian, so usually when I'm learning an aria, I like to take that as an opportunity to kind of practice reading the different alphabet.
Luckily for me, I have a friend who is fluent in Russian, and I will say that your friends and your community are the biggest resource, and she has agreed to help me with my Russian diction. The only thing is that she lives in Finland. But what I've planned is that I'm going to record myself saying each of the phrases in Russian to the best of my ability, and I'm going to send these as audio files to her.
Saying the text very deliberately, very slowly, sounding it out. Когда я песню слышу. Until I can say it kind of up to speed and I'm comfortable with it. А я так не в тебя не весело. А я так не в тебя не весело, когда я песню слышу.
So Peter Grimes is a bit of a social outcast. He's very misunderstood. And a lot of readings and my findings on this opera bring to light that Benjamin Britten, the composer of the opera, really intended for this to be a representation of being queer in a certain time.
I've spent the last couple of days refamiliarizing myself with the opera and with the aria in particular, but I will admit that yesterday I did absolutely nothing in the process of learning the aria because I've been working very long hours. But I will attest that I think that is an important step because it makes you a more effective learner and artist when you have the time and the energy to do so.
Kind of doing the essential foundation stuff that is not as glamorous as when you see a singer on the stage, slaying the stage. I think that most singers do this. But that's a part of my process. Usually it's pretty hard at the beginning, and then just through consistency and slowing things down, we break through and we get better.
Hello, it is day 5, and today I was planning on going through some of the technical things that I discovered yesterday, but my voice is feeling very scratchy. So I'm set up on my balcony on this beautiful fall day with my music and some snacks, and I'm going to listen to some more recordings and do some more score studying.
I've encountered a passage which is tricky because both it scales through almost my whole range from top to bottom, and it's in this like weird pattern. So I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna sing the words or actually sing out. I'm just gonna be kind of doing on oohs because right now I'm just trying to intake the notes. I can't even play it. Okay, getting there. Now let's try it without the piano. Tritones. No. Okay, getting there.
I'm gonna set a timer, put my phone away, and learn the notes. Welcome to the process. Welcome to the struggle that happens in the nook. This is a fun aria. The rewards are pushing through sometimes. Right? Nope. Yep. Honestly, the struggle is real.
Now it's time to kind of really dive into the music. So that involves a lot of the text and the emotions and making sure that there's line and we can convey the aria as not just a piece of music, but as a story as well. But first, I have to warm up. I know for myself personally, I have a hard time making certain vowels like E feel comfortable in my body. and using all those vowels together to kind of get them even and feel natural together as well. But then I spend about 20 minutes warming up, making sure that my body is ready before moving on to the specificities of working on an aria.
There is this big long section where there are a bunch of key changes and arpeggiations. So today I'm going to go through that section and sing them slowly and then probably on a vowel stream. So using a vowel stream is where you sing just on the vowels in the text and you omit the consonants. And then once you've done that a couple times and it's settled into your voice, after all of that sorted out with the vowels, you can put the consonants back in.
And now I'm going to move a little bit more into the dramatic. I've done some character development and research on my own. At the Toronto Harbourfront, thought it'd be nice to get out because Peter Grimes takes place all by the water because, you know, he's a fisherman, so. But it's really helpful to get somebody who has a little more specialization or skill in the acting or the theater part of opera. So I'm meeting with my friend, fellow mentor, and stage director, Anna Theodosakis, to work on the dramatic side of Peter Grimes. I've seen in stars a life that we might share.
When you have a goal with somebody, it means that throughout you always have to be checking in. So if you're kind of off in your own space, maybe you check in, see that he is unresponsive, and feel like you have to more actively convince.
When you perform the aria, it's not always in the context of a show. Rarely is it in the context of a show. How you can bring people into the story, having your dramatic plan, is incredibly helpful. Hello everyone, this is David with the mid-challenge check-in.
I think I have the entire aria learned. It is the last week, so I would hope that I would.
And so far, I am pleasantly surprised that it doesn't feel like it actually sits that low. It does go really low, but it doesn't actually stay there, so it's pretty comfortable for me right now.
I was working on some other things and I skipped a day, or the day skipped me. I have performances that are coming up, so my girl Amelia had to take a back seat.
So some of the things I mentioned in my beginning video was talking about some of the vocal colors and the vocal techniques required for the piece. Some of the markings and where they were positioned in the range, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's going to be possible. But upon practicing and getting it, they actually just kind of happened. I think the piece is just so well written. It's almost like my brain just can make the voice just do the color based on what I'm singing about and the emotion.
I'm going to take it to my lesson in a couple days and see how my teacher thinks it fits in my voice. And if she approves it, then I'll probably keep going with it because I do really like it. And I really love playing Olga because she is so just sunny and carefree. And I often play roles that are much more angry or dramatic.
So all that work I did on the drama with Anna and all the work that I did on my own, the research to really connect my heart to the piece, I think that has like really connected the technique to the text.
And also I find like just learning new repertoire, for me, I have this strange kind of like anxiety related to it, and depending on like the circumstances, sometimes you have like, hey, can you learn an opera in 2 weeks? You're like, yeah, okay, I can do that. You're just like, oh God. You know, sometimes that's the reality.
I feel comfortable with the language. I feel comfortable with the music, all of the pitches, all of the rhythms, etc. I know what I'm talking about.
But usually in like the opera world or like the industry, people will have bookings for like 2 or 3 years in advance. That's not my life right now. I claim it. But you just take a deep breath and start small.
I haven't gotten any feedback on it outside of myself yet, so I need to do that. Did that sound okay?
Yeah, I think so.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna do it again. Can you listen again?
Okay, yeah.
That was better,
Yeah.
but I don't know what I did differently.
That one's one of my favorites. It can be a little scary because sometimes you don't get the top. You know, it happens to the best of us and then also the rest of us. Let's just do one more. That one kind of gets you using your head voice a bit, gets the air going high, fast. It also doesn't cost a lot vocally speaking. It's kind of like a big stretch
So I've just had my lesson and my aria is now teacher approved, that I can at least continue working on it. We worked on a lot of things about unifying the lower notes with the rest of my register, so I'll be working on that. And also it was the first time I sang with piano, so I had to sort out some things there.
Pro tip, if you're in kind of a rush, use the aria that you're learning as a warm-up. We're gonna do it on lip trills and humming and use it as my warm-up. I'm gonna start from the back and go to the front. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So start from the back, go to the front. That's like a technique that I've heard that people do when they're learning repertoire.
I want to talk about one line in particular from this aria that is really fun. It's a quotation from a piece earlier in the opera where the peasants are all singing and dancing for the harvest. And it's just that one little line, but it's so fun, and it reminds me of when I was in this opera first, like 4 years ago when UBC did it. I was in the chorus, and I love that scene because we got to do this whole dance, and I love folk music, and I love how Tchaikovsky incorporates in a lot of his work Russian and Ukrainian folk songs.
From the clean copy of the score that you saw before, this is my score now. It is filled with markings, and usually, but don't always, highlight tempo markings, etc., different dynamics. I apologize in advance to anyone who speaks Russian if I am butchering things, but I'm a learner and I'm a student of the language, so cut me some slack.
I'm not gonna be in my nook for the rest of the week. I'm going to Ottawa, but there are still ways that I can practice, and that's the plan. I'm in Ottawa, singing with the NAC. Pardon? What? Ay, ay, ay. So grateful. I can't believe that I get to do something like this, especially during a pandemic. It's been such an amazing experience to be working with these like amazing musicians. But yeah, just trying to stay super low key, especially it's a pandemic. You know, I've been rehearsing with the piano, but it's just different. You know, you're hearing such a complex array of colors, and it's super unique because, yeah, everything is like alive. So it's such a valuable learning experience. I will take these learning experiences that I had from the NAC and just transfer them. It's so valuable to have an experience to sing with orchestra and a conductor.
It's day 14 and we've come to the end of our 14-day Aria challenge. I think that I've learned a lot about how to navigate being an artist in a pandemic. I think that my Russian has improved during this time, mainly just by repeating words to myself. I've also realized that I really respond to a strict schedule and allocating time for myself to concentrate on music, and then also being able to find that balance. And that's something that I think that I really struggled with during these 2 weeks. Is that I had to understand how to balance time for music and time for the rest of my life, and not letting my music life overwhelm me as well. I thought that it would be the Russian that would be the hardest part for me, but I think that it was understanding that learning music is not the be-all end-all of my day.
I definitely feel like I've made a lot of progress. I feel like this has been a much more concentrated look at learning an aria than what I usually do, so I'm glad that I've proved to myself through this that I can go from not even knowing if I should sing an aria to feeling like it could be performance ready in 2 weeks. I think I'm going to sing it at my next studio class and get practicing it in front of people, because that usually brings out something new in the acting and interpretation for me. But it's definitely something that I really enjoy singing it, and I just really like how bright and open she is as a character. And like I probably said at the beginning, I love Russian music, so it's just great to have another Russian aria that I feel actually suits my voice. Yeah.
And, you know, the process kind of fell a little bit as I had a concert that was postponed and then rescheduled. So I kind of had to leave my homeboy Verdi to the side for a bit. Like, it can be done, but it was not done this time. If it doesn't need to be rushed, my philosophy is then don't rush it. So how do I feel? I feel good that I started it, which is also always the hardest thing. As you continue to work on your craft, you can leave it, and then in 2 years, like, I'll sing it better than I did when I first started to learn it. And it's also kind of low-key terrifying a little bit. Share an excerpt with you guys in its very baby stages. This can be a part of breaking down this like stigma of perfection that we've placed on ourselves in classical music and opera. But I think there's like not as much respect for the process in classical music. I don't know. I said what I said. So, yeah, if people are like, oh, you're not like 100% perfect, like, get out of our face. That's the vibe. No one's really ever said that, but that's the vibe that I feel. And also, I'm sharing this with you before I've shared it with my teacher, so that's also scary. In dreams I've built myself some kind of...
It was quite a journey trying to get the aria in my body, get it in my voice. Overall, I felt pretty good about it and enjoyed the process of getting to know this character, getting to sing this music. Getting to tackle the challenges, both rhythmic and vocal. I had a lot of fun doing that, and such a pleasure to sing a piece of music like this and delve into a character as interesting as this. No offense to other tenor characters, but there's a lot of them that are a little bit simpler. The things that I thought would be hard were challenging, but not as challenging as I thought they would be. I was a little not in voice over the last couple days because I've been working. That's another thing that you might have to balance if you're a singer is if you work mornings. Those can be quite tricky on the voice. So overall, I really enjoyed singing it. I hope you enjoyed following me and my comrades along our journeys.
But I would also like to acknowledge that this is just the beginning of this process. 2 weeks is enough time to learn an aria and feel comfortable and have it memorized. But the learning of an aria never stops.
But that's okay, you know, because like, I'm just out here trying to get better. And yeah. In 3 months from now, I'll sound better.
I hope you enjoyed our singing and our processes and got to learn a little bit about each of us and each of the composers and characters we were working on.
This has been a look at me learning Olga's aria. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Tune in for more of Opera InReach YouTube videos. Check out some other things. And thanks. Bye. Day 9 of the 2-week aria challenge. I've been so consumed with arias and learning music that I have not done my laundry. Now it is time.